And this is happening in my state right now. And people are going out marching for this. They're being taught in schools in sessions they call values clarification, where you clarify that values are relative. Everything's relative. And I had to take courses in that in order to get a degree. In order for me to clarify in my mind that really if I thought there was anything called truth with a capital T as an objective reality outside of myself, I was crazy. I was a fanatic, an extremist, a danger to the society. This is what we're dealing with. This is the type of culture we're dealing with. And our children that are put into those schools, don't think there's not an agenda there. There is an agenda. And if your children are in those schools, they are imbibing that agenda because their nature is to absorb. And the amana, the trust that Allah has placed upon human beings is on the parents to preserve the fitrah of the child. And if you're not preserving it, you're destroying it. Because it doesn't stay the same. It's either in increase or decrease. The Prophet ﷺ said, the parents will make him. And these are archetypes. Don't think this means, well, I'm Muslim, my child's going to be Muslim, of course. No. Don't think, we're talking about archetypes. Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, said in his Iqtida Sirat al-Mustaqim fi mukhalifati ashab al-Jahim, that the Muslims will go astray two ways. غير المغضوب ولا الضالين. The way the Jews go astray and the way the Christians go astray. In other words, we will go astray either by making our children Jews or by making them Christian in their outlook, in their perspective. It doesn't mean that if you ask them, are you a Jew? No, I'm a Muslim. But is his outlook Muslim? Is his reality Muslim? This is the question that has to be asked. And unfortunately, the answer that resoundingly comes back is, by and large, no. They're not. They're mutilated. Jad'a. They've been mutilated. This is what's happened. And it's a crime against the parent, because the hadith that is muttafaq alayh, كُلُّكُمْ رَاعٍ وَكُلُّ رَاعٍ مَسْئُولٌ عَنْ رَعْيَتِهِ. Every one of you is a shepherd, and the shepherd is responsible for his flock. And the first flock of the man is the children and the women of the household. قُوا أَنفُسُكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا. Save yourselves and your families. So the family is the responsibility of the man. I mean, the other day I was giving a talk and just talking about the necessity for mutual reciprocity between men and women working together to create an Islamic environment for their children. And I was saying that unfortunately a lot of men do not nurture the women in our culture amongst the Muslims. This is a fact. And this man said, الرجال قوامون على النساء. See, everybody memorizes the ayahs they like. That's what I noticed. Very few Muslims memorize a lot of the Quran, but they memorize the ayahs they like. And you can usually tell a Muslim by the type of ayahs he quotes. So I said, well, why don't you finish it? بِمَا فَضَّلَ اللَّهُ بَعْضَهُمْ عَلَى بَعْضٍ. Because Allah has preferred some over others. Well, what's the tafsir say? Because men do jihad. Because they do amr bil ma'ruf and nahi anil munkar. Because they do infaq fi sabilillah. Where are those men? I'd like to meet them. Where are they? Seriously, it's not. I don't think it's a laughing matter. Where are those men? الذين يجاهدون في سبيل الله الذين ينفقون سرا وعلانية الذين يأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر. Where are those men? Those are قوامون على النساء. Because Abu Hayyan al-Tawhidi said, he didn't say الذكور قوامون على الإناث, that males are caretakers of females. He said الرجال قوامون على النساء, that men are over women as caretakers. رجال. And Abu Hayyan al-Tawhidi in Al-Bahr al-Muhit says, ليس كل من يملك لحية رجل. Not everyone that possesses a beard is a man. Even the goat has a beard. So this is what we're dealing with here, a danger to society. And then they're wondering, see, look at, and this is the irrationality of human beings, because we have this seemingly infinite capacity for irrational behavior and beliefs. When the so-called, the terrorist bombings happening, Americans stopped traveling overseas, right? All the airlines got worried because it all went down. And the average American has 1,000 times greater chance of being killed in his own city than he'd ever have, but doesn't stop him from going outside, right? This is the type of irrationality you have. But what we're dealing with, and what these people do not want to admit, is that they have created children who are an absolute danger to their societies. These children are bereft of fitrah. It's been literally ripped from them. They allow them to watch pornography constantly on the televisions. They allow them to see brutalization of human beings. I went into one of these malls in California, and there was an arcade there, and I was with my wife, and I just wanted to look. To me, those places are like hell. It's something you imagine one of the circles of hell being like one of those places where people have to play pinball for eternity. And I looked in there, and it's all dark energy. But there was one young boy with a huge computer screen. He was about 11 years old. And he had a gun, and on the screen were computerized images of human beings that were almost lifelike. And I watched him for about 2 minutes, and he killed about 40 of these computerized images, shooting them where they go, and then they fall down and drop dead. And he scores up another, and that's how you win the game, by killing the most people that you can kill. And then they say, well, we have no scientific evidence that there's any correlation between violence in society and media. And this is what they have experts come and do this. What do you think that means? If somebody's absorbing this, because our brain is literally, it's a sponge, and it absorbs images, and those images you cannot get out of your brain. You will not get them out of your brain. Those of you who have watched a good deal of television or film, you have those images permanently etched in your minds. And those images will be a barrier to purifying yourself, to what's called tahannuth, which is to literally to purify the internal. Tahannuth is what the Prophet ﷺ did before he got the revelation. Kana yatahannathu. And if you look in the books, they usually say kana yata'abbadu, which is not the meaning of tahannuth. That's one of the meanings, but the meaning of tahannuth is to fight hinth. And hinth is internal shirk. It's all of these false idols that we carry around in us. And this is what the Prophet ﷺ, yatahannathu, is that he was bitakalluf. Tafa'ul is for takalluf, that he was literally struggling against these inherent aspects of the human being. Kana yatahannathu. And if you want to do tahannuth and you're filled with all these images and all of these things, the Prophet ﷺ, when he got near music, Allah caused him to fall asleep. He wasn't even exposed to these sensory images. His blessed eyes never even looked upon the haram. Really. He was not exposed to these type of sensory images, but he was in a jahili culture, and he was exposed to their idols and to all of these things, and purifying one from these outward idols is part of the task of the Muslim. Could you switch now? Now this is a little hard to see, but this now is some scientific confirmation for what is known as the fitrah. And what's happening, could you focus it a little? Is it possible to? There, that's fine. What's happening here is at birth. What happens at birth, there's massive development. We go from unicellular creatures, the zygote, the splitting of the cells, within 3 months. Just the growth that has taken place within the embryo is phenomenal. It's really unbelievable, and it's worth looking into and studying, because the Qur'an does deal with embryology. When we are born, our brains will increase size several times. The highest of all of the animals, the primates, are literally born with basically what they have in terms of their brains are intact. There's very little development in the first year. For the human being, there's 12 years of deep neurological development. 12 years.